Trusting God's plan means that we don't have to have all the answers right now. We can choose to walk by faith, knowing that God is leading us even through the unknown. We don't need to control every outcome because we know that God who holds the universe in his hands is also holding our lives in his care. When you let go of the need to control and trust in his perfect plan, you can rest in the assurance that everything will unfold according to his will, and his will is always good. This trust also gives you the freedom to live with peace, knowing that your life is in the hands of a God who is faithful, loving, and wise. Trusting in God's plan allows you to move forward confidently, even when the future seems uncertain. It's the realization that his plan for your life is far better than anything you could have planned on your own. Therefore, instead of worrying about what you cannot control, you can place your full trust in the one who is already working all things together for your good. Trusting God with what you cannot control requires us to let go of the need for perfection. Many of us are conditioned to strive for perfection in every area of our lives, our work, relationships, health, and even our spiritual walk. We often feel as though everything must be flawless for things to be right. However, the reality is that perfection is an illusion, and attempting to control every aspect of our lives in pursuit of it only leads to frustration, stress, and burnout. God never promised perfection in this life, but he did promise to be with us through every situation, providing his strength, grace, and wisdom. Letting go of perfection also means accepting that there will be mistakes, setbacks, and challenges along the way. But this does not mean we have failed or that God has abandoned us. It means we are human, and God, in his infinite wisdom, is using those moments to refine us, strengthen our character, and draw us closer to him. Trusting God with the imperfections of life means choosing to focus not on the mistakes we make, but on his unwavering faithfulness. In the midst of our failures and flaws, he is always present, offering his mercy and grace. Matthew 6:34 encourages us, therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. This verse reminds us not to become overwhelmed by the weight of trying to make everything perfect, especially when we are worried about future uncertainties. God's grace is sufficient for today. And we are not meant to carry the burden of tomorrow. Trusting God means letting go of the obsession with perfection and realizing that each day is an opportunity to walk by faith and trust in his provision and direction. Fear often stems from our attempt to control situations that we cannot predict or manage. We fear what might happen because we feel powerless to change the outcome. However, when we place our trust in God, we are reminded that he is sovereign over every detail of our lives, even those things that seem beyond our control. Psalm 34:4 says, I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. When we seek God in the midst of uncertainty, he calms our hearts, alleviates our fear, and reassures us of his constant presence. It's important to recognize that fear doesn't just paralyze us, it also distorts our perspective. When we give in to fear, we focus on what could happen instead of trusting in what God will do. The Bible encourages us to cast all our cares on God because he cares for us. 1 Peter 5:7. This act of casting our anxieties onto God is an intentional choice to surrender our fears and trust in his ability to guide us through whatever lies ahead. God does not promise that life will be free of challenges or the unknown, but he promises that he will always be with us. He assures us that we don't have to carry the weight of the unknown alone. By trusting God with the unknown, we are free to face each day with faith, knowing that God is already there, already working, and already preparing a way. Instead of worrying about what we cannot control, we can step forward in courage and confidence, trusting that the God who is in control will lead us through the unknown with his wisdom, love, and strength. Fear fades when we place our trust in God's promises. The more we rely on God and surrender our fears, the more we experience peace that surpasses understanding. This peace allows us to live fully in the present, knowing that God will provide for our needs, protect us from harm, and guide us into the future he has prepared for us. In the face of uncertainty, trusting God offers us the confidence to move forward with boldness, leaving fear behind and embracing the hope that comes from knowing he is in control. trusting God with what you cannot control requires a shift in your mindset from focusing on the limitations of your own strength to embracing the unlimited power of God's providence. We often find ourselves caught up in the cycle of trying to fix everything, striving to control the outcome of every situation, and yet we fail to see that our strength is finite.
If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, comment and share with your friends. Thank you for watching.